can't cite it.
is, anybody.
Correct.
And so how do you protect this from garbage?
I think there will be something in there. We shall see. And maybe that's a research question. Maybe that's a good research question.
Another one, are you going to look at, so like you said, so that,
Good.
yeah, that's really how you
Good idea. We can put that up. It's got a good question.
Or is it collaboration just one way?
Sound like he's just gonna have to points in there.
Yes.
Say points.
That's the best app I'm going to use most of the time.
That does leave
I know, I just put that.
You use Weatherbug or some of those.
The weather.
Oh, absolutely. And then somebody else comes in. Yeah, what's the driving force?
It's all
I wonder how different topics will
pretty kind of one of those.
Alright, so overview of what.
So we can track.
Depends a little bit what they're talking about.
Specific details, you get kind of like a what it is. Okay.
I don't need to.
And then if you want to elaborate,
So do you think it's just to use
And it does support, yeah, it does apply.
But it
I
is
think
also,
students will take part
what's
next
the
year.
character?
I'm just trying to integrate this other things.
All right, guys, gals. I heard some good ideas here. Let's start with Samuel.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, guys. Samuel has an interesting research question that we had not yet considered.
So my question was, are they going to track and monitor it, like, so there's like the hacker group Anonymous. They bring companies down. They purposely disrupt things for what they say the lulz, or also they're actually just like mad at these organizations and want to teach them a lesson for infuriating them. But at the end of the day, they're just causing mischief, but it's because they can. So are you going to track to see if that tries to happen, since this is going to be open to everybody? And how will
We
you
never
recover
thought. Now,
from
here's
this?
here's an example of the wisdom of the crowd. Never thought of that, but now it's going to be a research question thanks to you. That's the wisdom of the crowd in collaboration. You also, sir, had a comment, Jimmy.
Oh, how do you, besides the purposeful mischief, just the inept? In other words, you're letting everyone in, so how do you keep how do you filter it, keep the garbage out?
Okay, how do you filter it and keep the garbage out? Again, it goes back to the assumption of James Sarawicki in his book, The Wisdom of the Crowd. The crowd will self-correct. But I think you now have for us a second new research question around the wisdom of the crowd and do they self-correct? That's pretty awesome, thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you have a self-correcting crowd, you're making the assumption that they all have the same understanding of wrong, which we know is not true. So we encounter some issues on Wikipedia where pages get changed back and forth between competing opinions of what's correct or not correct. You could investigate if any of that occurs on the...
Question number 3, that's a very good one. Thank you very much. Now, I agreed with Jimmy here. I tell my students, you can go to Wikipedia to start out, but don't use that as a reference source. All right, and then we're working our way back this way. Yes, sir.
We had a question, our group had a question as far as if this is one-way communication. If the wiki is a one-way communication, right? I'm saying that when you actually put the information out there, you are not getting feedback. So it's not actually, is it a true collaboration almost to a certain extent also?
Okay, that's an interesting question. You are getting feedback if somebody comes in and expands on it
Or deletes it.
or deletes it.
But then that doesn't mean, how much is that feedback? Because then what if it was right, what you put, and they're just going back
And that
to
goes
his-
back to the,
go
and
back
that-
to
the question of right
it
or
goes
wrong.
back to the
Or even
question.
to his, and maybe he doesn't believe that what I put was true.
Now, one course that I took from the University of Manitoba in Canada, we were required to find a wiki topic and contribute to it. So I know how you do that. So we're testing a lot of the assumptions of the collaborative world, aren't we? Yes, sir. Did I answer your, and you had a second follow-on question?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I did have a question also about the role of the editor. You said, so the editor are the users, correct?
Yes, yes, that's the point.
That's the point there. And now my whole thing about that is, there is, like we said, I guess he kind of answered it earlier. So, and the other users are correcting each other, so that no one has the same, pretty much right or wrong.
Correct. And I have to make one point. Okay, I want to answer your question. Sure. Voice your question.
I was just curious, what was the driving force for participation? What's the carrot? What are compelling the individuals to want to participate?
And that is a very, I'll go back this way. That is a critical question. The idea is the end user gets to keep the case study and use the case study. And at one point, you know, when we're done, we'll just say, done now, here it is. Anybody can take it in the world. Anybody can use it as they wish. It's free. It's open education movement. Go forth. Do good. That's the carrot and the stick. I mean, when I see the speaker we're bringing here, November 1, Jose Bowen, the author of Teaching Naked, he put all of his workshop material online for anybody to download it and anybody to use it as they wish, how they wish, where they wish, when they wish. That's the open educational movement. And I can guarantee you there'll be a lot of profs that will oppose that. Giving away of intellectual property. But my opinion is the world is moving on and those days are past. Let's get out, let's share, let's spread the word. Yes, sir.
I just, real quick, I just kind of thought about this but you were mentioning how Stephen Wiki or something?
James Surowiecki. Surowiecki, no connection
Well,
to the wiki.
you said, you were talking about how the mass corrects itself. It just reminds me of economics. So they talk about how the mass markets will correct themselves to what people want. Well, won't that just lead to, in the collaboration sense, what if the mass believes in something that might be false? How do you weight a certain, maybe, not necessarily more educated, but a more liable to be correct answer? Can you weight certain contributors' responses based on their past accuracy?
That's another potential research question.
And I know that's how,
I think that's the second article.
I know that's how Wikipedia, they have, you know, a huge staff of educated, hired people that go through and filter out, you know, kind of fact check.
Well, you have to remember that you got three folks that know their topic. My PhD was in education. That's why I'm interested in this program development model. So you've got three ultimate judges when to call it and say it's done and it's correct and it's ready to share. So, you know, we're just not an army of Wikipedias. All right, my time is up. I want to thank you for being an integrated and very interactive group. Thank you very much. Go forth. Do good.